Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Juan Mango here, coming at you guys with another deck profile video. This deck profile is going to be on my new Firth Omni Lord deck. Just got it. Have you guys been watching the epic pack pulls of Pack Wars or Card Wars? I've done pretty good with a couple boxes that I got, so I got a deck together and I want to go ahead and show it to you guys. I've been testing it out, seeing how the mechanics and everything works, and it's fun. It does put you in a lot of situations that you have to do. You have to do a couple things like take damage that you might not want to, but you know, it just helps the deck just because being able to do the abilities and also the abilities don't count as counters, so you're able to do abilities and play a counter, and then just things go off and you're destroying things and you're gaining gauge or just crazy things, you know what I'm saying? So right now the deck is, I like it a lot. I think there's some things that need to be worked on and need to be tweaked on it, but for right now, let's get right into the deck profile. So let's start off with our grade 2s. So, first of all, we got our flag. Got the new Gal flag. Put that right there. So let's start off with our grade 2 lineup. I played 3 of Blade. Just you pay a gauge, and basically when you are targeted, so you're gonna play him on the left and the right. When you're being targeted as an attack, you can pay a gauge and draw a card. Now that means if he's off to the side and they choose to attack you, you can pay a gauge, draw a card, and then shield. So that's what's great about him, because again, these abilities don't count as your counter. They're just automatics that happen if it just happens. So you're able to, you don't have to take any damage, especially with him. You don't have to take any damage. Most of everything else, you have to take damage for things to happen. This one, all you have to do is be targeted as an attack. Now, if for some reason there is a card that redirects the attack to you, if they're targeting him and then you redirect the attack to you, that does not count. It doesn't count as you being targeted, and you can then activate the effect. The opponent has to target you as the attack. So sometimes I just see him as a shield, he's getting attacked once. So you'll see a couple cards that I put in the deck just to protect them or to keep him out there, especially since I know he's gonna get attacked. With this deck, a lot of your monsters are just gonna get attacked because people don't want abilities and stuff to go off. So, but I played 3 of them. Then I play 2 of So. Now I kind of want to play 3 sometimes, but when I was playing 4, I was seeing him way too much, and I just, I would have a field, or I would have, and then I couldn't put another grade 2 out there, so I bumped him down to 2, and it's working out pretty well just at 2 right now. You might feel different, especially if you don't get Omni Lord drums and stuff like that. You might want to bump him up to 4 or maybe even 3. But very, very good card. You pay a gauge, and then when he's called out to the field, you can go ahead and choose a size 1 that's Firth Omni Lord from your drop and call him to the field by paying his call cost. But most of all the ones are free. So you're basically, for 1 card, you're gonna get another card back, and it's good because we haven't had anything like this in Dragon World, just to be able to get a card back from the grave, from the drop zone. So right now I'm leaving it at 2, but I'm still gonna play around with the ratio, but right now I really like him at 2. And the last one is Firth Omni Lord Drum. Got the buddy right here, and then the 2 different arts. I'll put it like that. So basically, you pay a gauge. You call him to the left or to the right. You can't call him to the center. You put a soul underneath him, and basically, when you get into 6 or lower, anytime you would take damage, you can destroy a monster on the field. Now somebody thought they thought it was a card, but it isn't a card. That would be too broke as hell. That would be ridiculous. You just destroy weapons and destroy impacts and destroy just set cards. That'd be amazing. But he does destroy monsters on the field, so you know your opponent has to, if they're gonna attack you, they have to attack you. Like they have to be be conscious of doing that. I found my opponent sometimes not getting a full feel, just having a monster and a weapon, because then they would attack with the monster first and then attack with the weapon. Because they attack a monster, they hit me, I destroy that monster, but they already attacked with it. Where if, you know, when some of my opponents didn't realize what was going on, and you know, how can you not, but you know, they would have two monsters, or if they had already two monsters there and then they went ahead and attacked me and his skill activated, then you destroy the one that hasn't attacked yet. So then that card is wasted. And especially it works really well with the grade 1 that also destroys grade 1 or lower. So if they have a grade 2 and a grade 1, you can take damage, destroy a grade 2, then destroy a grade 1 by paying a gauge. So just amazing. Great card to have, and especially the stats are good. It's a 6k beater, so it can hit for 6, 3 critical and 5,000 attack. Would have loved to see a little boost on the defense, but you know, it'd be way too much. But just a great card. If you can get your hands on them, I definitely would. Now my grade 1s, my buddy. So you have this one right here. So I have Staff, Sand Staff as my buddy. So Sand Staff you can't call to the center, but when this card gets destroyed, well actually first of all, when you take damage, if it's in the left or the right, when you take damage, you can call it to the center. So if your opponent's going for an all-out attack, whatever, and they're attacking you, you can definitely put this in the center. And then when it gets destroyed, you gain a life and you gain a gauge. It's really good in the sense of just the gauge and the life, because you're gonna be using life. So this card helps you out just to gain life, and you know, early on, just to regain, you know, hey, they attacked me for 1, and now I can put this in the center and boom, I can gain that 1 back, or just gain at least 1 back and gain a gauge, because you're gonna be using a lot of gauge in this deck with your size 1s. But it doesn't, you don't have to do the first ability. So let's say it's off to the right side and your opponent attacks it. When it gets destroyed, you gain a life and gain a gauge. So it's just good to have, just because you're able to gain, especially if you have 2 and then they want to blow up the field or something like that, you can then gain 2 life and 2 gauge. Or 3 if you put, well, you can't put 3 out there, but I'm running 3 just because I couldn't get the 4th one, and I haven't tested out with 4. So Fire Sword, I'm sorry. So basically his ability is he can't be called to the center, he has to be called to the left or right. When you take a damage, you gain a gauge, once per turn. Now, you can have 2 out there, and if you do take a damage, you gain 2 gauge. So just know that you're able to use, just because it says once per turn, just because it says once per turn doesn't mean just one of them and then the other one doesn't get the effect. You get the effect of both of them. Just to clarify that. Now the stats are 5, 2, 1. He's not gonna be protecting anything in defensive wise, but you know, he has. It's good to have 5,000 because it can hit a lot of stuff, and then the 2 gauge is always good for a size 1. So just think of him as a 1,000 air dragon. I haven't used him in such a long time. 1,000 rapier. So just think of a 1,000 rapier with a cool effect if you take damage. Then you have the grade 1 from the Seikirei pack. What do you got here? Yeah, the one from the Seikirei, leaping. So leaping. So basically, this guy is if you're at 6 life or less, you can call him to the center. It doesn't matter, but when you call him, you can go into your deck and search your deck for a 5th Omni Lord drum. Once you search it out, if you put it in your hand, you pay a life. You take a life. That's very important because if, let's say, I wanted to gain a gauge. Let's say I had him and I wanted to gain a gauge. I can call him, search for drum, take the life, gain a gauge. So that's what you got to be very specific with the things that you're doing, because taking a life and then gaining advantage off of that, instead of paying for life. We cannot pay for anything and be the same thing. We have to take a damage. All right, but just so then you can find 5th Omni Lord drums, which is really good. Oh. Then I'm running 3 arcs. I mean 2. Now you would say, why not run more? Because his ability is pretty good. That when you take damage, you pay a gauge and you destroy a weapon. An item. So it's not just weapon, it's an item. So it's good for Cavalry, and it's good for just about anything that uses a lot of weapon, especially now that you have the double attacking dungeon. They do the double attack and you're able to destroy the weapon if they don't destroy this. Reason why I put him at 2, just because there are those situations where he's gonna be useless. If your opponent doesn't play a weapon, he's just gonna be sitting there. He's gonna be nothing. So then you have to switch him out. So right now I have 2 of him here and then 2 of him in my side deck. So again, you would have to figure out, if you need more, you put more. If you don't, then that's fine. But 2 of them right now. So his abilities is you pay a gauge. When you take damage, you pay a gauge, destroy an item. Which is really, really good. Since everybody plays items just about. Now, Windbow. Windbow, basically his ability is almost the same thing as the last card, but he destroys a size 1 or less. So those 0s and those size 1s, if they have them out there, you take a damage and then boom, you can activate pay a gauge and activate his effect, which isn't bad at all. His stats aren't really that good. Both of these guys' stats aren't really that good. I like him just because he has a 3,000 attack, but he has 2, which again, it's not gonna get over a lot of stuff. So, but it's good just to hit some like little pesky stuff or just attack for 2. The good thing is he has 2 crit. He does not 1 crit. All right, and then I'm running 2 of the Drunk Sword Shrew. Now, this card is kind of, I tried it out. It's good, but then there's some situation when you have your weapon, out there, and then you have 2 cards on the side, and then you have him in the center. If you're going for a full out attack, then yes, you use the ability for him to get destroyed. But if you want to gain advantage and maybe destroy some stuff, you would take the 1 and leave him alive, I guess, and not attack with your weapon. The good thing is that he's 2 crit and he has 4,000 attack and he has 3,000 defense, which isn't bad. So you can do a lot of stuff with him. At least you can put him off to the side too, and then attack. Put a different card out there and attack. Use the 1 skill to take 1 and destroy stuff or gain a gauge or whatever it is. And it's good that you can use the ability on your card's abilities on your turn. Just another card that helps you out with that. All right, let's get into the weapons. I'm running 1 of the 5th Omni Lord Dragon Fist. It's fine, but with all the stuff that you take a damage, if it would become free. A lot of the stuff would become free. So I think this card would be great in just a regular drum deck. Now the ability of this card is you pay a gauge and take a life. That's important. You take a life. Because again, you can combo that with other stuff. Other than damage dealt by attack, you would reduce it by 1. So anytime I would use my ability to take a damage, It doesn't. I don't reduce it and then just leave it. It's just nullified. I don't take a damage. So then it doesn't really work with a lot of the stuff where I'm trying to take damage to use the ability, especially if you get it early and you get a lot of your spells that say take a damage. Now those spells would become free, but you know, again, it's not. I don't think it's super worth it. And then the other ability is if you have a drum on the field, it gets plus 3,000 in penetrate. Now that's really big. You know, just having a weapon that has penetrate is really big in the game, just because, you know, you usually would have your size 1 or size 2, but now you have a weapon that most of the time can't get destroyed unless you have to specifically put stuff to destroy that weapon, that now has penetrate for 2, and it has an extra 3,000 attack power. So, you know, in a drum deck, this would be amazing, just because you would have the big drum that would have penetrate, then you have, and it's a fist, and then you would have all the other drums, the size 1 that has penetrate. So if you catch somebody and they have a monster in the center, you just link attack, you can possibly do 7 damage in 1 turn. So I just play that 1 right now. I might be looking to switch it out, I don't know. I played 3. I played 3 fists. Just because my buddy's kind of weak. I like having a fist, and you know, just being able to infinite attack, and plus a 6,000k is just good, just because it's a beater. It can beat over a lot of things. That's really the main thing. I'm not link attacking very much, but I'm definitely doing that. I'm definitely using it for just a 6,000 attack. And then I have 2, excuse me. I have 2 of the longsword. You pay a gauge and pay a life, so you're not taking a life, you're paying a life. But the great thing about this weapon is if your opponent attacking you for 3 or greater, it would be reduced by 1. So those 3 crit monsters and 4 crit monsters that would deal you a damage would be reduced by 1. So a lot of people really take the time to put in monsters that are doing 3 damage and 4 damage, because they're specific. They're not just like, okay, I'm doing it just to do it. They need you to be at a certain life points, and if you can reduce it by 1, if you can reduce those big attacks by 1, then you know it really helps you out. You know, especially if you're using life points and everything, and you might need that 1 extra life points where you would have been at 1. Now you're at 2, and you're able to maybe pay a life point to gain the advantage back and win the game. Now my size 3, this is the only size 3 I have. Not that I have. Basically, I just feel like, you know, anytime you have this guy in hand, I've gotten to use him a couple times, and either you're at the point that is game, or, you know, if you go back and forth with your opponent, and then, you know, they're all the way down to the point where, you know, they're about to take you out, but then you bring him out. And it changes the game just because you don't take any damage, and he can't be destroyed that turn. So his ability is, his call cost is, when you are about to hit 0, when you're basically dead, you can pay 3 gauge, call him out to the field, anywhere in the center, middle, whatever, doesn't matter, and then your life would become 1, and you discard your whole hand, you discard everything on the field, and you're just alive for another turn. He can't be destroyed, and you can't take any damage, and he has triple attack. So you really can't go wrong with a 9,000 attack, 2 critical, 8,000 defense, triple attacker. Especially like late in the game. Anytime you see this guy, you're gonna hold on to him, and you know, you're gonna play your game and make sure you have enough to pay for him when you need to. And then there's sometimes when you're so far ahead that you're gonna just gauge him. There's no reason to have him. Again, you know, I would say everybody's gonna be running a Burn Nova. Everybody's gonna be 1 in every deck. It's just such a good card not to have in a deck. Right now, I'm running this Impact, the new one, the Giga Howling Crusher. Basically, you pay 3 gauge and you deal damage to either the equal to your buddy, a drum, and your weapon. So if you have a drum out there and your weapon, whatever the damage, whatever the crit count of both of them are, you would take it. So right now, drum is 5, and your crit weapon and your weapon is 2. Now, if you would have a crit weapon, a weapon that's 3, then you would be dealing 6. If you would have a monster that's your buddy, that would be 4. You can deal 4 and also deal 2 to 3. So the most I'm seeing right now in a Dragon World deck is you can deal 7. You can deal 7 if you pay the 3 gauge. And the thing about it is, it's not restricted. It's not saying like, oh, pay it when your opponent's at this damage. You can pay this at any time, so it's always active, as long as you meet the requirements. I would say right now I'm trying it out in this deck, but I think this one would be amazing in a drum deck because you can put your buddy as one of the grade 1s, and then your drum, it's always active when you have a drum out. And then you can have like 3 crit weapons, and all you need to do is just do 4 damage, and it's basically game. Because if you have 3 crit weapon, and you're just doing 4 damage, it's very easy to do 4 damage, especially with a drum deck because you have penetrate, and you have all the different type of versions of drum. Where, you know, the other impact that I've been using is just the fist impact. It's just you have to have a fist and you have to get them to 4 damage, and you can pay 3 gauge. Where this one is, it's live all the time, so you can pay, you know, you can pay 3 crit, 3, and then do it. And actually, you can actually pay if you have 6 gauge and you have 2 of them in hand, you can pay both of them if you meet the requirement. So you can do, you know, 10 to 12 damage in 1 turn. But right now, that's it's kind of really dumb how crazy this impact is. But everybody else is getting crazy stuff, so I don't mind it at all. All right, now getting into my spells. I play 4 blue shields. And I believe these are the new ones, just the rare ones. I haven't gotten a foil one yet, and I heard how much they are. They're about like $35 online. Some places selling for $35 online. That's ridiculous for a blue shield, but I guess if you want a shiny blue feet shield, whatever, I guess. I don't know. The regular one does the same thing, but yes, the shiny ones probably look nicer. We have 4 of the Lord Shield, the Dragon Lord Shield. Basically, when you're being attacked, you can negate, or anybody. You just don't have to have a monster in the center. When they're attacking, you can pay. You can cast it, and it cannot be nullified. So this shield cannot be nullified by anything. So yeah, you're gonna take a damage, and it works with your deck, but it can't be nullified. I don't know how. I don't know how many games I've had where they set up their crazy last attack and they link attack you for game, and you're just like blue shield, and they're like, pay 2 gauge, nullify, or pay 2 life and nullify, or pay whatever and nullified, and then you're done. But now, you know, they can't count on that because I'm taking 1 damage to basically nullify, not get nullified, and possibly go out and win the game. Because we've always seen those they link with everything, and you're just like, oh crap, they gotta nullify. That's it. They see I have 4 cards in hand, they know I have a shield in hand, and you play it and boom, nullified. So that's what's great about this card. You're taking the damage, but the biggest thing is that this card cannot be nullified. I can't stress it enough how great that is. And I really want to, I think I was trying to play blue shields, but with all the gauge that green shields, with all the gauges that you're using, this blue shield is probably better. All right, so now we have this card. So what's it called? Dragoundertake, great name. So you take a damage. If you take a damage, you can call this. You can play this, and then basically you can call a size 2 Omni Lord, fifth Omni from your drop to the field, and then by using its call cost to the left or to the right. So you can, if you have no field and then you take damage, like I had somebody tempo me, they attacked, and then I was just like, okay, I call this, and then I had him in the drop zone, so I was able to go ahead and call him, and then I believe it was this one. I was able to call both of these for free. Well, not for free, for just 1 gauge. So, just like a Monster Reborn or something, but you just have to take a damage, and then you have cards that deal damage for you. So, especially with him, you're able to attack, take a damage, activate this, then call something else, and then boom. So let me put that over here real quick. So let's say you have him on the field, you attack with him, deal 2 damage, take 1, so you use the ability to take a damage. Then you're able to counter and use him because his ability is not a counter, and then you're able to call this guy, and then you're able to call this guy. So you pay a gauge to call him, and then you can call that, and then you have 2 other attacks that your opponent wasn't counting on. So that's what's good about Dragoundertake. It sucks that it's 5th Armor Lord. Like if it was any armor dragon, like if it would have just said any armor dragon, it would be amazing. Because then you can this would be splashing every dragon deck just about. But it's such a great card for 5th Omni Lords. All right. Then I have 2 of these. I was thinking I was trying more, but I can't bring myself to actually run more than these. I'm just running 2 chairs because the take 1 effect, and then it just prevents your monster from leaving. And then you can also you don't have to play. You can play this whenever your opponent does something. So let's say your opponent's playing Kaiseria, because that's the biggest thing right now. Your opponent goes ahead and calls it, and on the call, if you have, let's say, the one that destroys an item, if you have him on the field, so you have somebody you have him on the field, and your opponent calls Kaiseria, you can then play this and put it on him, put the ability on him. But the main thing is that you take the damage and you pay the gauge to activate this, and before your opponent can put that in there, you destroy Kaiseria. So that's a really big move. Or like if your opponent's bringing out stuff and you can have stuff to kill it. Once they pay, you want to play this. You want to play this move when they play something that they can't counter with. So you just go ahead and be like, oh, boom, by the way, this can't be killed or whatever. And that's when you want to play this. You don't really, you will play this when your opponent's attacking it, when your opponent's trying to blow up the field. But you can play this before, when your opponent's playing stuff and before they even get into their battle. So even if they call the size 1 and then call the size 2, boom, play this when you have drum and you have something else, and then boom, you're able to destroy both of those cards before they even get to attack. So that's what's great about Drago change. And then the last one is 2 Dragobond. Just because you're gonna be losing life and your opponent's gonna attack, there's so many monsters here that your opponent doesn't want you to have that they're going to attack it. That's why you need Drago energies. That's why you need this guy, and that's why you need this guy. Because at times I just felt like, man, if they can just attack me, why aren't they attacking me? But of course they are not gonna attack you because they want to get rid of those monsters, and then so that's when you punish them. You want to get rid of my monsters? Well then, you know what? I'm just gonna boom play this and bring them back once you attack me, or I'm gonna play this and keep them there and then activate their effect, or I'm gonna play this and gain life, so then you can have more life to use later on. And that is my 5th Omni Lord deck. If you guys have any questions or anything, leave them down below in the comments and I'll comment on them, and I'll help you guys out with whatever you guys think. If you have any other cards that you might think from newest set or lore or older set or anything, please let me know. You know, I'll test it out and I'll see what's up, because I know not everybody can get their hands on the 5th Omni Lord drums, and since I have them, I'll go ahead and test out, you know, as many cards just to get this deck better and how good it can be. I don't know right now if it can be like a really like top tier deck, just because of all the life that you're gonna be losing and everything. Now, another thing that I was thinking is maybe trying out is I think it's green something. I keep forgetting the one where when you call a an armor dragon, you gain a life. That could be possible, another possible thing, or maybe even mix these with blue skies, just because you're able to gain life and then use life. So maybe use the spells that take life away, and then use the cards that use some of the cards that gain you life. So, you know, there's gonna be a lot of different builds and a lot of different things for these decks. So I would say, you know, just go out there and have fun and try them out. But this is my build. Feel free to use it. And like I always say, guys, I'm not the best buddy fighter in the world, but I'm alright though. Thanks for watching.